cool, crisp, I guess it's still late summer. It's not early fall, but a beautiful Sunday afternoon for some baseball. And we're about to be blessed with a performance of our national anthem. One of the neat things the Twins have done this year, they've asked former members of the military to raise the flag out in right field. Been a very nice touch, and it's part of what's made the experience here at Target Field so special in the inaugural season. The Twins and A's wrapping up their series here. The Twins have lost just 2 series at Target Field this year, or excuse me, 2 series since the All-Star break. One here at Target Field against the Cleveland Indians, and then a series down in Arlington, Texas. So since the break, the Twins have done a very good job of doing what they preach since day one, that is win series. And now our national anthem. Of about 30 youngsters from Mounds Park Academy.
Yeah, nothing better than that right there. National anthem sung by kids.
And the Twins, who lost a low-scoring ball game here Friday, won a low-scoring ball game here yesterday, and that's kind of been the theme in this season series with Oakland.
Yeah, no surprise. The Twins have played the Oakland A's 8 times, and the first 4 ball games, all by 1 run decided, and then the last 4 all decided by 2 runs. The Twins had the advantage, 6 wins to 2 losses against the A's.
Here's the Oakland batting order for manager Bob Guerin. Rajai Davis, who's done very well against Francisco Liriano and the Twins. He'll be followed by Derek Barton, Mark Ellis, Kurt Suzuki, Matt Carson, Josh Donaldson, Akinori Iwamura hitting 7th. Chris Carter looking for his first major league hit this afternoon, and then Steve Collison.
Well, let's take a look at the Schmelz Countryside scouting report on Francisco Liriano, making his 29th start and his 2nd against the Oakland A's. He faced the A's earlier this year in Oakland, and that he got a no decision, but the Twins ended up winning that ball game 4-3. Pitched 7 innings, struck out 10. Currently, we talked about it in the open, 8-game winning streak for Liriano. And in those 11 starts, the Twins are 10-1. And the Twins outstanding since the All-Star break. They are 43-17.
The 10-game lead allowing Ron Gardenhire to give some players who need a rest the rest they need. Delman Young in left, Ben Revere for the injured Denard Span in center, Jason Repko for the injured Jason Kubel in right, Valencia and Hardy the left side of the infield. Orlando Hudson's been an everyday player for a long time, so Nick Punto gives him a break. Of course, Michael Kanier, the first baseman, Joe Mauer back behind the plate, and a good chance for Punto to get a start.
Yeah, I think the biggest one this afternoon is Orlando Hudson. Gardy said the last couple of days he was dragging a little bit. He said that Nick Punto's been working his tail end off to get back in that starting rotation, so an opportunity for Punto to get some at-bats, and an afternoon for Orlando Hudson just to kind of kick back and relax a little.
Have a nice, quiet afternoon at the ballpark.
O-Dog does not have a quiet day anywhere.
1 strike to Rajai Davis, 5 for 11 against Francisco Liriano. Check swing, and it's 1-1. They'll appeal, but it's A 1-1 count to the leadoff hitter for Oakland.
Yeah, if you've not seen Liriano pitch, he's got an outstanding fastball in the low 90s. Sometimes he'll hit 96, 97 if we're in Chicago. But you know what? I mean, he's right about 93, 94. Nasty slider. That's his strikeout pitch. Currently 5th in the American League in strikeouts with 189. And the most innings he's pitched so far at one level right now, Liriano, with 179 innings pitched.
2-1. And a changeup gets a swinging strike to an exciting time for Liriano. Of course, he burst onto the scene in 2006, but he injured his elbow late in the season and couldn't contribute to the Twins in the playoffs. And then a couple of years where the Twins didn't make the playoffs. They made it last year, but Liriano was just kind of a spare part of the pitching staff. Bouncer left side, Valencia charges, fires on the run, one away. And so Liriano, although he's pitched an awful lot, is approaching the most exciting time of his professional career because he's going to be a starter, it appears, in the playoffs.
Well, you see the 14 wins, 14-7, the 3.28 ERA. That's 10th in the American League, and he's done a really good job of controlling his control. Only 55 walks and 179 innings pitched, so he's done a very good job of that.
One down, and here's Derek Barton. Barton asking for time. Home plate umpire Laz Diaz wants to make sure that back foot is in the box. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Now, when I said that Liriano was kind of a spare part, I didn't mean to, diminish his contributions last year. But by season's end, he was out of the rotation, and admittedly, didn't have any confidence at all. And he is approaching the final starts of this regular season at the very top of his game.
Yeah, best thing that happened to Liriano, he went down the winter ball and just had a chance to relax, and he came in spring training in great shape.
That's past Kadiron into right field. Barton has a base hit.
And he's carried it throughout the season, the consistency that Liriano has shown.
And so a one-out single for Barton, and that'll get Mark Ellis to the plate. Ellis, too, pretty good numbers against Francisco Liriano.
Well, Liriano making his 10th appearance against the Oakland A's, his 8th major league start against the A's. 1 win, 2 losses, with a 4.33 ERA and 7 starts, 9 appearances.
Beyond all the numbers, one of the most striking numbers of improvement for Liriano, the fact that last year in 136 innings he gave up 21 home runs, and he somehow managed to become almost exclusively a ground ball pitcher, and he's done a great job of keeping the ball in the ballpark this year.
Only 4 home runs allowed, all to right-handed hitters, 2 of them coming in Fenway Park back on May 20th. And then he gave up 1 to Chicago White Sox, Andruw Jones, and the other one to Josh Fields of the Kansas City Royals. That's it.
All right, now how do you account for that?
Just better control, just keeping the ball down. That's how do you get ground ball outs? You keep the ball down in the strike zone.
See a very good average against left-handers.
Yeah. I think he's come up with that 2-seam fastball that's really helped him. He's throwing that circle changeup a lot more. And, of course, the strikeout pitch is still that slider. Like that, but good block by Joe Mauer.
2-2. So in one season, you go from allowing a home run, more than 1 home run every 7 innings, to just 4 all year.
He just tried to overthrow that right there. And this has been a problem for Liriano, as all good pitchers. Once he gets settled in, he can put some zeros on the board, but Oakland A's, they want to get to him early, and that's when he's a little bit, pumped up, as most pitchers are.
2-2 to Mark Ellis.
Most runs he's allowed in 1 inning has been the first inning, 17 runs allowed in the first of the 65 he's allowed so far this year.
Bouncer. Fair down the line. Valencia doesn't think it was a fair ball at all. Barton going to third. He'll be held, and it'll be a double for Mark Ellis. Valencia looking at James Hoising. There's no way that ball was fair. And now here comes Ron Gardenhire, and he'll ask Laz Diaz if maybe he got a better angle on it. The Twins manager from where he stands in the dugout, can look right down the left field line. So Ron Gardenhire might have a pretty good point here. We'll get a good view of it here.
This will be the great angle right here. The umpire's kind of in the way, but that sure looks like it's a foul ball.
Sure does.
You know, if that ball lands over the bag and hits in foul territory, but that ball's a foul ball. James Hoy right there, third base umpire.
Well, it's coming right at him.
He's got to take those sunglasses off and clean them.
Second and third, one away, and Kurt Suzuki at the plate.
Well, Ellis credited with a double, his 20th of the year.
So Liriano on the ropes here early on, a single and a double, and a couple of men in scoring position with one out. Change up away, ball one.
See, this is where we've seen throughout Liriano's career. He can pick up a strikeout right here. What he needs to do is get ahead in the count first. Middle of the infield playing back, they'll concede a run.
A little fister, and Punto out. Can't make the play, and a run's going to score. So Punto went back, and kind of a tough play as he went out more towards center field and where the ball ended up, and it's a bloop single and a 1-0 Oakland lead.
That ball looked like, it got in on Suzuki. He jammed himself, but then that ball kind of, Punto's thinking it's going straight over his head, and with that inside-out swing, the ball kind of spun the other way and lands, to the left of Punto. So a good effort right there, but it's a 1-0 Oakland lead. Suzuki picking up his 63rd RBI.
First ball hit in the air, and it's a bloop single, 1-0. And now Matt Carson coming to the plate. Liriano hoping to get a ground ball hit at somebody. Foul back, one strike. Carson getting a chance to play some in the outfield. The A's desperately in search of a little bit more production from the lineup for next season.
Yeah, Carson was up and down last year too. This is his fourth stint with the Oakland A's this year. Not a lot of at-bats. Has some speed.
Ground ball single, a ground ball double, a bloop single. The A's have a chance to put up a crooked number here in the first inning against Liriano. And now 2-1.
Well, that's what I was talking about before. Now 18 runs earned in the first inning. He's not given up an unearned run yet this year. 65 runs allowed, now 66. All of them earned. So he's had some very good defense behind him.
Carson reaches across the plate, taps it foul, 2-2. So now he's got Carson set up, you'd think, for the slider down and in if he really wants to bear down and get a strikeout.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully he can right here. This is where, a strikeout pitcher can help himself by staying out of that big inning. Now, Carson has never faced Liriano, so, has he seen that good slider down and in? Liriano a couple times have tried that, but he's tried to overthrow it. Let's see if he can get that ball down and in.
And Carson lays off, a tough pitch to lay off.
Yeah, that, if it's a little bit higher, he swings through it. But that started a little bit on the low side.
Well, Carson has heard about the two-strike slider from Liriano. Now he's seen one and taken it for ball 3. Runner at first might take off here with one out.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do it again.
Suzuki stays put. The pitch lifted to right. Repko's got a great arm. Ellis setting up for a tag. And Ellis is just going to bluff. Repko has shown off that arm twice in this series already, and the A's wanted no part of it here in the first inning.
Yeah, a little bit deeper right there. Then probably Ellis tries to tag up, but that ball kind of was not hit far enough. You can see Repko setting up for it, gets behind the ball, and then making sure he keeps that ball down. And it's a couple hoppers to Joe Mauer, but Repko already with 5 assists on the year.
He nearly threw out a runner at the plate here on Friday night. Here's Josh Donaldson, the DH for the A's today. And that's outside, ball 1. Twins with a magic number of 5. The White Sox will host the Tigers tonight in the final game of that series.
Yeah, when Kurt Suzuki went down with an injury earlier this year, McDonald came up. He's kind of the third string catcher right now for Bob Guerin, getting in a chance to get some at-bats. He was up for about 2 weeks in early May and then just recalled about 5 days ago from AAA Sacramento.
2-0 to Donaldson. 23 pitches for Liriano, just a dozen strikes here in this first inning. And now 3-0 with Akinori Iwamura on deck. Strike on the outside corner. Liriano has never thrown a complete game in the big leagues, and this first inning difficulty is one of the reasons why. Pitch count is so elevated at times after one inning that he doesn't have enough pitches left to complete 9.
Well, good fastball right there at 93. Now, if we're in Chicago, that would be 97. Well, too many pitches, but let's see if we can get out of this inning.
With just the 1 run allowed, 26 pitches thrown so far. This will be number 27. Time called at the plate. Three and 2 to Donaldson. And he takes the slider for a ball. So both Carson and Donaldson refused to bite on the slider down and in, and the bases are loaded.
Well, he tried the 3-2 slider, but again, down and in. So the first walk of the inning, and that loads the bases with 2 outs.
Well, that'll bring up veteran left-handed hitter Akinori Iwamura, getting a chance to play for Oakland now with the back issues experienced by Kevin Kuzminov.
He was released by the Pittsburgh Pirates, signed by the Oakland A's.
Down and away, ball 1. I wouldn't be surprised if Liriano misses with this pitch here. He might get a trip to the mound from his catcher. Settle him down a little bit. 1-0. Drilled to center. Ellis is going to score. Suzuki being waved around. Revere overruns the ball. Iwamura to second. And the A's take a 3-0 lead.
Well, you keep falling behind, you get into that fastball mode, and that's what he got right there. Iwamura picking up a couple RBIs. Rivera will be charged with an error. Solidly hit up the middle. Rivera coming in and the ball scooting away from him.
Well, Rivera got a piece of it, which was the only good thing on that play. Kept Donaldson from scoring. Twins baseball on My 29 brought to you this afternoon by Comcast High Definition. So it's already 3-0. There are 2 runners in scoring position, and Chris Carter, the 8th man to bat, hoping to end an 0 for 29 streak to start his career. And within that hitless streak of 29, 13 strikeouts.
Yeah, but he walked once.
Just the guy you probably, in one sense, don't want to face here. Sooner or later, his luck's going to change. And there are a couple of runners in scoring position. Liriano's already behind 3-0. High pop-up, short center. Punto out. He'll call for it to end the inning. 3-run score. A couple of left aboard. A long first inning for Francisco Liriano. hard time getting more than 3 runs in a game, and they get 3 in the first inning here against Francisco Liriano. The Window Concepts batting order for Ron Gardenhire and the Twins. Ben Revere in the leadoff spot. J.J. Hardy moving up to second. He's been swinging the bat well this month. Then Joe Mauer, Michael Kadire, Delman Young, Jim Thome, Danny Valencia, Jason Repko, and Nick Punto.
And the Schmelz Countryside Volkswagen Scouting Report on Bobby Kramer making just his second Major League start. He made his first one about 10 days ago against the Kansas City Royals at 30 years old and 340 days old. And unbelievable. He ended up winning that ball game. Great example of never giving up a dream. That was a dream of Kramer's to get to the big leagues. And this is his third stint with the Oakland A organization.
Revere flares one foul, 2 strikes, and so he finally gets a chance to pitch in the bigs, makes a start, beats the Royals, and now in his second start, he's got a 3-0 lead before he throws his first pitch.
And his first start against the Royals, he ended up winning 3-1. He gave up 1 run, a home run to Aviles of the Kansas City Royals.
Revere taps it to the right side. Ellis has it over to Barton, and Revere retired for the first out. Northland Ford defense for the A's, and they're mixing and matching and plugging holes. Chris Carter in left, Rajai Davis in center today, with Carson in right. Iwamura, the third baseman. Collison at short, Ellis at second, Barton at first, and then Kurt Suzuki, one of the best catchers in the league, behind the plate. Defense brought to you by Northland Ford. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy hot in September, and generally in the second half he's given the Twins what they thought they had hoped they would get from him all year long. He's raised his batting average 45 points since the All-Star break. 1-1. Popped up toward Ellis. And out number 2.
Well, the scouting report on Kramer, he himself says he's a crafty lefty. He's not going to pick up a lot of strikeouts. Went to spring training with the minor leagues with the Oakland A's and was loaned to the Mexican League. He went down there and pitched very well. The A's brought him back into their system. He was at that AA level. Those are his numbers in his first Major League start against the Royals. And now he's making his second Major League start.
Here's Joe Mauer with 2 gone in the first inning. Ball 1 over the course of time. You know, he's had to pick up some secondary jobs. He would work for an oil company. He's a substitute teacher. He was trying to make ends meet. Now it all gets to the patience is rewarded. He's pitching in front of 40,000 people here.
Well, I grew up in Southern California. He a kid that played 2 years in the Rays organization, signed by the Rays as a free agent, was let go, ended up getting a job with Shell Oil, and Shell Oil ended up letting him go after a couple years, and he retired from baseball, basically.
That's picked up in foul territory. Barton couldn't get to the ball before it went foul.
And that's when he became a substitute teacher, and he started playing in the northern leagues and stuff like that. And now he's been at the major league level. That ball just foul. Right there. Good call. Wally Bell, the first base umpire.
There's an old saying in baseball, and they've probably been saying it for 150 years. If you're left-handed and breathing, you've got a chance. And Kramer is both.
I remember the movie The Rookie based on Jim Morris.
Yeah.
I mean, Morris was out of baseball for 10 years before he had a chance to come back and actually pitch for the Rays.
And Kramer blocks Mauer's smash and gets him at first.
And hobbles off the field.
Yeah. He appears to be okay. He's got a 1-2-3 first inning.
3-0. Jim Rich here down by the Twins dugout. And it's time now for the Home Depot improving player. And this week, we take a look at Jason Repko, who has come in here and has been a valuable fourth outfielder for the Twins. Not only with his offensive play, but with his arm. Repko very accurate from the outfield, and just yesterday he gunned down Coco Crisp at third. He told me this morning the most important thing for him is to one-hop those throws. He says that keeps the cutoff man in play, and it ensures that he won't airmail his throw. And Bert, as a pitcher, you know, I'm sure what a game changer a play like that can be when you get a guy picked off at a second or third.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jim. We actually saw him do that in the first inning on that fly ball off the bat of Carson that he threw home and kept the ball down. And you know, anytime you do that, what you want to do is hit that cutoff man or throw it at the head of that middle infielder.
Hardy catches a soft line drive. Collison retired, one away.
Yeah, Repko with the 5 assists in only 46 Major League games this year. So he's done a good job out there.
You know, and you look at Repko and what he does, and he's not the offensive player, certainly, that Jason Kubel is, but in a sense, it's the same philosophy the Twins have used behind the plate this year with Drew Butera. What you want, if you have to substitute for somebody, and it goes back to the foundation of this Twins organization, somebody who will excel defensively. The Twins have that behind the plate with Butera, and as their extra outfielder now, they've got Repko.
And we have Punto, you have Casilla in the infield, you have a lot of good defense, and that's one thing the Twins have always, preached. Hey, pitching and defense will get you in the postseason.
A couple of quick outs here in the second. An invitation to visit the official online shop of the Minnesota Twins at twinsbaseball.com. You can browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, authentic classics for the whole family. Get geared up for the postseason at the official source, the twinsbaseball.com shop, except no substitutes. 2 down. Here's Derek Barton. Barton started the 3-run inning by hooking a single to right. With a ground ball, a hard one, right past Cuddyer into right field. 3 more hits and a walk followed. And the A's had 3 earned runs against Liriano. 1-1.
Good slider right there. He needs a quick inning. Too many pitches in the first inning. 30 total for Liriano and only 16 strikes.
Up and away, 2-1.
38 Major League wins for Liriano, 29 losses, making his 87th Major League start.
He singes the outside corner with a fastball, 2-2. His ERA coming into the game, 3.28, roughly a run lower than the league average of 4.15. So anytime you're a starting pitcher and your ERA is about a run lower than the league average, it, I guess, suggests you're a above average pitcher.
And you should have a winning record.
And he does.
Don't tell Felix Hernandez that, but there it is, strike 3.
Called third strike. Barton doesn't agree. Liriano has that quicker second inning, but trails 3-0. And you can watch games streamed live each week on FoxPreps.com. You can see Prep Sports live or check it out later on demand. Plus, you can download the new Fox Preps app now. Go to FoxPreps.com and get it live. Early hole for the Twins, 3-0. Michael Cuddyer will lead off the second inning.
Well, you saw Joe Mauer get a piece of Kramer kind of limped off that mound, but you know what? If you waited as long as he has, that ball's going to have to really hurt you to get you out of that ball game.
Hey, if he's been a substitute teacher, he's put up with a lot worse than that. Here's Cuddyer, then Young, then Thome. 1-0 to Michael Cuddyer. And now 2-0. Cuddyer, a couple of hits, a couple of singles in yesterday's game. In this series, 2 for 8. Pounded foul on a 2-0 pitch, and that's going to sting for a while.
Yeah, Cuddyer, he has that pad where he's going down to try to straighten it out a little bit. Looked like it got right on that pad. Take a look right here. Fastball inside. Right off the pad, but still, that hurts. Right off the shin area.
And again, through it all, Cuddyer's had to change positions innumerable times this year, now anchored at first base, but he's taken a beating too. He's the guy that took the fastball from Mark Burley in the left shoulder after Konerko was hit in the face. 3-2. And
I think if this club had a captain, Cuddyer's one of those guys that you would look to say, this guy could be the captain of the Twins. It used to be Torrey Hunter.
The breaking ball, Cuddyer takes a leadoff walk. And the frightening thing, I think, for Twins fans and maybe even some in the organization, there really is not a viable backup for Cuddyer. If something were to happen to him that would take him out even for a couple of games, Jose Morales, who's never played first base in a big league game, is the only backup the Twins have.
Well, that's why, Morales right there, he wants to try. He wants to get in ball games, and that might be the best way he's going to get in. If the Twins clinch this thing, Gardy already said, hey, I'm going to give Cuddyer some days off, and Morales is going to get the opportunity. Said Morales has been working very hard with himself. Ron Gardenhire over there teaching him about the first base. Also, Jerry White. All the coaches, they do a great job.
So just to extend the discussion, the most valuable player, if you want to rename it the most indispensable player, I don't know how there is any discussion. It's got to be Michael Cuddyer. They just don't have a backup for him. So on the basis of that alone, I think he'd be the most valuable player. 2 strikes to Delmon Young, with Kramer trying to pitch around the leadoff walk. All of that is based on the presumption that Justin Morneau's not going to play, but Justin's here at the ballpark again today. Took some swings in the cage. Young goes after a pitch up and away, a strikeout, 1 away.
Yeah, high fastball right there. Kramer picking up a strikeout. Kramer in his first major league start against the A's picked up 4 strikeouts. And Delmon going off over after a high fastball.
Here's Jim Thome. Thome held out of the lineup yesterday. The way the season has played out, case can be made that the White Sox never really recovered from Thome's home run against Matt Thornton that turned a loss into a win for the Twins here back in August. Foul back. When the White Sox have faded, they obviously felt they needed to sweep the Twins in Chicago instead of went the other way around. They haven't won since. But that game was on August 18th, just about a month ago. And the Twins have played very good baseball since then. The White Sox have dropped 5 more games in the standings since Thome turned that game around. Inside, and it's 2-1. They lost, the Twins did, the next day. Excuse me, the game was on the 17th. of August, not the 18th. The Twins won the next day 7-6. Lifted to center. Retreating is Davis. And with just enough room to make the catch, Cuddyer has to retreat to first.
That's how strong Jim Thome is right there. I mean, that looked like a breaking ball down and away, and he just kind of with that short, strong swing, able to take this ball. I mean, look at that. It looked like off the end of the bat. And that's 411 feet right to that corner by the bullpen. So it's a long out for the second out here in the bottom of the second inning.
2 down, and here comes Valencia celebrating his 26th birthday today.
He along with Scott Baker, both of them having birthdays here this afternoon or all day long. So happy birthday to Danny Valencia and Scott Baker.
He's homered in each of the first 2 games of the series, and he takes outside ball 1. I think we've talked about this before, but since it's Valencia's birthday today, we'll bring it up again. Here he is. Quick tag at first. Cuddyer dives back. He's trying to make his mark as a major leaguer, having an impact in his rookie season. He's 26. Delmon Young just turned 25, and Delmon Young's been around for years. 1-0 to Valencia. That's a funny looking move. That looks like that could be called a balk.
You talked about Delmon Young, talked about Valencia, and there's a guy right there that's going to be 31 next month,
right.
Bobby Kramer. He's trying to make an impact at the major league level. You don't know where this is going to go for him. Bob Guerin saying, and Chris Young saying that his start against Kansas City was maybe a one-time deal. Well, he pitched so well, here he is again out on that mound.
And they decided to give him another start and push Gio Gonzalez back a day. Gonzalez will start tomorrow night against the White Sox.
Yeah, Oakland's not going anywhere this year. They have some very good arms. So as the season's winding down for both these ball clubs, Oakland's looking forward to next year with a very good young staff. The best staff in the American League as far as combined ERA.
Valencia takes down and away 2-1. The A's will host the White Sox for 3 games out on the West Coast. They're now 3-1, and those games played out there will have an impact on the Twins' magic number and Twins' chances of clinching at home.
Well, it's a 3-1 pitch that Danny Valencia got off of Dallas Braden that he hit the home run. The 3-run home run yesterday. The count 3-1 now.
Yesterday's game, he had a couple of 3-ball counts, but the first time he was retired on a couple of Dallas Braden changeups, and then he laid into a fastball. It's the outside corner, 3-2.
Yeah, the first time was when Joe Mauer ran on 3-2, and they ended up throwing him out at third, and he struck out. Next time up, I think Braden thought, you know what, I threw him 2 changeups on 3-1, 3-2. I'll try sneaking his fastball by him. No, it didn't work.
Full count. Cuddyer will take off early. There's a breaking ball around the plate, and a pair of walks sets up the Twins to do some damage here in the second inning. They're still looking for their first hit. Jason Repko will try to get that hit with 2 outs in the second. Repko does have some pop in his bat. What little we know about Kramer, even in the Mexican League, he does a pretty good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. He's not home run prone, which is one of the reasons he's now pitching in the big leagues. And Repko takes a strike at the knees.
Repko kind of questioning that call right there. Laz Diaz behind the plate here this afternoon. Repko, a couple hits in yesterday's ball game.
fly, short left center field. Long run in for Davis. And he makes the catch. Twins take a couple of walks, can't score, and still trail 3-0. With some first inning difficulty today.
He struggled a little bit in the first inning, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, but able to get a 1-2-3 inning in the second.
Mark Ellis hit the disputed double over the third base bag, and that was the biggest hit. Well, we'll say one of the biggest hits for the A's in their 3-run first. Iwamura with a 2-run single. Here's our Menards key stat. Jason Kubel has passed Mark Ellis. He's the most prolific home run hitter that was born in South Dakota. Now, some interesting names on that list. Carroll Hardy, as I recall, is the only guy to pinch hit for Ted Williams.
Yeah, Carroll Hardy played from 1958 to 1962. Excuse me, 1964.
And then Terry Francona was born in South Dakota in Aberdeen while his dad was managing the Aberdeen, what do they call it, the Pheasants, I think, back then. Bouncer left side off the tip of Valencia's glove, and Ellis has his second hit. So he continues to pick up hits against Liriano. He's now 7 for 12.
One more thing about Carroll Hardy. I had my little Total Baseball encyclopedia here. In 1967, he played for the Twins.
Yep.
In 8 ball games, hit .375.
And I forget exactly the circumstances, but I think I'm right. He was the only guy to ever pinch hit for Ted Williams.
He played in Boston.
Yeah.
May have been. Cleveland, Boston, Houston, and then his last year at the major league level with the Twins in '67.
Here's Kurt Suzuki. Drove in a run with a sharp single to center in the first. Half swing and a strike. Suzuki and then Carson. Liriano had a difficult time in the first inning, breezed through the second. One and one. Suzuki hitting cleanup for a lineup that needs more power in it. Probably not a team in baseball that doesn't have a trade they'd like to regret. And for the Oakland A's, it was the trade that sent Houston Street and Carlos Gonzalez to the Colorado Rockies for 4 months worth of Matt Holliday, who they traded without Holliday ever playing a full season for them. And Gonzalez now may win the National League MVP, and Houston Street, their closer, And so as the A's try to develop some power in the middle of the lineup, it's got to be hurtful to pick up the newspaper and see what Gonzalez is doing for the Rockies.
I mean, this young man, and how about Colorado, the way that they keep winning ball games?
See if they can get two here.
Is hotter than heck.
1 and 2. Nick Punto with a one-hop throw to Michael Cuddyer for a double play.
Right off the end of the bat, but a nice hopper over to Hardy. J.J. Hardy, not Carol Hardy. And a nice little one hop by Nick Punto. Good hard slide by Ellis for the double play.
So 2 down, and here's Matt Carson. And a strike. And of course, in recent years, the one trade the Giants wish they hadn't made was trading Joe Nathan and Boof Bonser and Francisco Liriano to the Twins for A.J. Pierzynski. 2 strikes.
Well, they said in the Giant organization, Liriano had, he had the sore arm, and they didn't really know, if he was going to turn out the way he did.
Hit to right field. Repko goes to a knee to make the catch. So a single, another line drive, but in the end, Liriano faces just 3 in the 3rd. A rash, and he didn't sleep much at all last night because of the rash. They've treated that, and he's dealing with a little lack of sleep here in the start today.
Well, at least he showed up to the ballpark. John Gordon didn't even show up today, and we want to say get well soon, John Gordon, a little hoarse.
Oh, okay.
So Jack Morris and Dan Gladden are doing the radio here this afternoon,
along with Chris Atterbury. Nick Punto taking ball 1. Now a little chopper left side. Punto running it out. And he's retired, 1 away. Ben Revere hitting next. The possibility of postseason games at Target Field is very strong, and because of the large Twins season ticket base in the neighborhood of 22,000 equivalents, the ticket opportunity for the general public is limited. If you're interested in purchasing postseason tickets, applicants must fill out and submit the registration form on www.twinsbaseball.com by tomorrow. Go to twinsbaseball.com, get all the details, and you must register by tomorrow. 1-0 to Ben Revere, still looking for his first major league hit. And a strike, 1-1. Revere hit a ground ball to Mark Ellis his first time up. Breaking ball misses. 2-1. Revere told me this morning he's just having a ball playing here. He's getting 3 straight starts. And there's his first hit.
There we go. Good.
Sharp ground ball up the middle, and it's the Twins' first hit this afternoon against Bobby Kramer.
Well, they get the ball back in, and there's Denard Span clapping, as everybody should be, for Ben Revere. Well, congratulations. That smile. And there's the baseball, and Barton says, I'm keeping it. Give it to Jerry White.
So that'll get Hardy to the plate with a man aboard.
And Dave Prumer, trainer, with the ball.
Forget who the rookie was a week or so ago. You were involved in pranks like this too, I know, but some rookie had the ball taken out, his first major league hit. The ball from the hit. Here's Hardy. And they took a different game ball, and they said, congratulations, and they misspelled his name. So for the rest of his life,
wow,
he thought it was going to be his name misspelled. Then they gave him the real one later on.
I got to be honest, Gary DiSarcina in the Angel organization, he got his first major league hit, and I wrote some things on there that probably weren't very nice, and I put it in his locker after the ball game. I didn't know that night he sent it to his mother.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, so the next day I gave him the real ball, and he told me. I had to call his mother and apologize when she got that baseball.
I heard the first half of that story. I hadn't heard the back end of it.
I didn't mean to write all those obscenities on that baseball. You know, it wasn't the real ball. No, I think I learned that from Willie Stargell. Pop Stargell was great in that. First hits, he'd always get that baseball, get another baseball, and then write some things on it. And the player after the ball game look in his locker, and there's some things that you don't want to share with other people on it.
Right.
It's like, this is my first major league ball, and look what he wrote on it.
I can't show this to my grandkids. 1-2 to J.J. Hardy. Popped up to second his first time up. Twins
Congratulations to Ben Revere.
Twins got a couple of walks in the second, but couldn't score. And now Hardy swings at a breaking pitch. He's out with first base occupied, 2 down.
And Kramer picking up his second strikeout to get Delman Young on a high fastball in the second inning. And here drops the breaking ball, and Hardy swinging through it.
And Mauer hit the ball hard his first time up against Kramer. It sounded like he hit him in the breadbasket and was thrown out. And Revere diving back to the bag. And Revere is a stolen base threat, and because of that, it's not out of the question that he might make the postseason roster. Now, the Twins have some speed in utility infielders, Tolbert, Casilla, Punto. Time called. But thinking back to 1991, the Twins had a Revere type of player, Jarvis Brown, and he got only 37 at bats during the regular season and was with the team throughout the postseason because of his speed. There's a strike in the outside corner. Ron Gardenhire swears up and down that those decisions haven't been made as to who's going to be on the roster, even how many pitchers, how many position players. They want to jinx anything. But I can guarantee you this. I think Revere's at least going to be in the discussion, even though he wasn't called up until September. Foul back, 2 strikes. Now Jarvis Brown in the postseason never got to start. He did get the pinch run. In fact, he was in scoring position. Might have scored the game-winning run in Game 7.
That's what I was looking up.
The Twins had a chance, I think, in the 9th inning with Kent Hrbek at the plate, and Jarvis Brown was pinch running at second base. Trying to recount all this with Randy Bush the other day in Chicago, and I think Jarvis Brown entered the game as a pinch runner for Randy Bush, and it was Brown's spot on the batting order that Gene Larkin hit for when he finally did end the World Series.
They got into 3 ball games. Jarvis Brown did. Pinch ran, played some right field and center field.
Mauer with a liner pass to diving Iwaniro. And Revere checks in at second. And the Twins have the tying run coming to the plate in Michael Cuddyer.
A good piece of hitting again by Joe Mauer, taking that pitch the other way. Came into the ball game second in the American League in hitting behind Josh Hamilton. A 30-point difference between Mauer and Hamilton. Hamilton hitting at 361. Mauer coming into the game 331.
So the Twins a big fly away from tying it up. And Cuddyer has a dozen of those. He drew a walk his first time up. Tickles the outside corner, 1 strike.
Well, you mentioned it the other day about Cuddyer. He has not hit a home run here at Target Field since May 8th in Game 1 of that day-night doubleheader between the Orioles.
And he hit, what, 4 of them, didn't he? He hit home
5.
Right away, 5 right away?
Yep. His last 7 on the road.
And a tapper to short. Close play at second, but Mauer's retired. And the Twins leave 2 more on base in the third and still trail 3-0. For the Twins. Time for our Lexus look back, and we look back at Ben Revere's path to the big league. Ben was an all-state football and baseball player in Kentucky. Twins drafted him in the first round in 2007. In his 4 minor league seasons, his career average is .328, and he's averaged 36 stolen bases a year. In 2008, he made a memorable run at the .400 batting average while playing for Beloit. He ended up leading the league, hitting .379, and he was the Midwest League Player of the Year. An exciting prospect for the Twins. And again, we may see him on a postseason roster if the Twins get to the playoffs. Here's Josh Donaldson, who drew a walk in that 3-run first inning. 1-0 from Liriano. Bouncer to third. Valencia has it, sets, has all kinds of time. Target throw, 1 down. You can ask a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Mike Whitney from beautiful Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Do we see many similarities between Denard Span and Ben Revere?
Well, I think, if you asked Denard Span, he himself said that Ben Revere in spring training was like his little shadow. He followed him around and wanted to learn from Denard Span. And Denard Span said, I was Torrey Hunter's little shadow. And if you ask Torrey Hunter, he was Kirby Puckett's little shadow. So it's, at any level, you want a mentor to look up to. And Denard Span, a very good mentor for Revere to look up to.
Paul Molitor, one of the players, former players on the Twin staff, given the task of trying to assess players and talent, and Molitor pretty impressed with the promise of Ben Revere. There's another one on the way, by the way, Aaron Hicks, who was for Beloit this year, played for the Snappers this year, and had a decent year. Hicks considered to be one of those guys that has 5 tools. And
yeah, my son, who when he scouted for the Angels, my son Todd, he said, "Dad, you guys got a good one in Hicks. He not only can hit, he can also pitch. So he's just a great athlete, 5-tool type player."
And when he gets to the Twins, and it's a foregone conclusion he'll get there, he'll arrive as the best golfer on the team. 3-2 to Iwamura. It was Iwamura's line drive single in the first inning that drove in 2 of the 3 runs. And he swings and misses. Well, let's hear from a Hall of Famer about the promise of Ben Revere.
I might be stretching a little bit, but he's got a little Kirby Puckett in him, especially when Kirby was younger, in terms of his enthusiasm for playing. Aggressive hitter, hit bad pitches very well. You know, he's raw in his baseball career, still learning about how to run the bases, when to be aggressive, how to make decisions out there as the game unfolds.
There he is in center field. He just got his first major league hit. No one is expecting a Hall of Fame career from Ben Revere.
Hey, why not? Maybe down the line it will be.
It might happen, but no one's expecting it. Meanwhile, Chris Carter would like to get his first major league hit. He's got to look out in center field, and Ben Revere, just a handful at bats, he gets his first hit, and Carter's 0 for 30. 1-1. Popped up. Valencia charging near the mound. And it's a 1-2-3 4th inning for Francisco Liriano. Early lead, and for Twins fans, a unique item on FoxSportsNorth.com, the website. You can watch yesterday's vintage baseball game in its entirety. The Quick Steps Baseball Association playing in vintage 1860 uniforms and rules. And you can check it out at FoxSportsNorth.com.
You know, I saw a little bit of that yesterday, and it's interesting where, the game of baseball, how it was invented, and the rules changes throughout the decades, but you wonder, if there was a time capsule, I'd love to go back and see two pitchers pitch. Cy Young, how he could pitch over 7,000 innings.
Right.
And then Walter Johnson, how he could have 112, shutouts. That, how do you, you look at Cy Young's numbers. They were pitching 400, 500 innings a year. How could they do that?
Well, that's why he's got the award named after him, And Delmon Young now 3-0, leading off the fourth inning. The Twins have taken a look at Kramer now, hope to break through here in the fourth inning.
Well, Kramer, he looks like he's straight over the top with his fastball, and then he's thrown Delmon a lot of breaking balls here in this at-bat. He struck out Delmon on a high fastball. Now he's fallen behind, and he walks Delmon on 4 pitches. That's hard to do.
So, in the last 11 plate appearances, the Twins have 3 walks and 2 singles. And Thome hit a warning track fly ball to center the first time up against Kramer. Strike one. Just let me cover my tracks a little bit. I was talking about Thome's home run against Matt Thornton. At the time, as that game was being played, the Twins had a 3-game lead. They were leading, the White Sox were, and were just a couple of outs away from trimming the Twins' lead to 2. Foul back. Thome's home run pushed the lead to 4, and the White Sox have since dropped 6 more games to the Twins in the standings. So if you wanted to capsulize the Twins season and maybe the White Sox season in one at bat, it was very likely Thome's game-winning home run against Matt Thornton. 2 strikes here right after the 4-pitch walk to Delmon Young. 1-2.
And you could, at home you're saying that's only 1 game, but was it 2005 that the Chicago White Sox won the World Series?
Yes. Yep.
Wasn't it a home run by Paul Konerko against the Twins that they thought at the time? I mean, it's like in August, something like that, turned their season around. So there are moments throughout a season that can, make or break a team.
Towering fly ball to left center field. And it's caught out there by Rajai Davis. Now he dropped the ball. Young will reach. Thome stands at first. And here comes Bob Guerin. And to be honest with you, I averted my eyes, and they're going to have a discussion here. What we may have here is the replay of the Denard Span play in Detroit, although that was a play when Span was on the dead run.
Yeah, Ron Gardenhire's coming out too.
Bob Guerin, Ron Gardenhire, and the 4 umpires in some combination are going to discuss this.
Well, the ball just kept drifting on him. You can see where his shadow is. It's tough in that sun, but in the exchange, and we saw it with Denard Span, right here, he's got it in his glove, but then drops the ball.
That is the very same play we saw in Detroit early in the season. And I'll bet you any amount of money that's part of the discussion for Ron Gardenhire right now. Is that, hey, we had that same play and we didn't get the call. And for a while, the Tigers thought that play turned their season around because they took off from that game and played really good baseball for 3 weeks.
Unless they, why is Gardy out there explaining that if they said it was a no catch and Delmon is safe at second?
And of course, it's a different umpiring crew.
Right, but I don't quite understand why Gardy's out there if the runner's at second.
Well, I think they have overruled the call. And Wally Bell signaled that he wanted to discuss the play. What's going to be curious here is the placement of the runners.
Right. That's I guess
if they've overruled and now said that it was a catch.
It's not. It could still be a force out at second, but Gardy's getting thrown out. That John Hirschbeck, the crew chief, throwing Ron Gardenhire out. And we'll find out where the runners are right now. The throw was to second base of Delmon Young.
I think they're going to call a double play. I'm afraid they may call a double play.
Well, right here, it is a force out at second base. And Delmon Young.
No, And now Thomey's being sent off. They're going to call a double play instead of first and second with nobody out because Young saw the signal from the umpire was a live ball. He advanced to second, and he's been doubled off.
Are they calling Delmon out because he didn't tag up?
Yeah.
Well, as a base runner, you go about halfway. You kind of follow the ball. This is about third of the way. And then, he's going to come back. But then he sees Davis drop the ball. Then he goes to second.
And so he's been tagged at second. They're ruling a catch on Thomey's fly ball. And Young tagged at second, advancing without a tag from first base. So for at least a few moments, it looked like the Twins were going to have first and second with nobody out. And instead, there are two down and the base is empty. And now a fly ball to right that should end the inning. Well, the 40,000 fans here in an owly mood, and I can't say I blame them. The Twins send just 3 to the plate in the fourth. The Twins had a runner at first, nobody out. A routine fly or so we thought to Davis.
Yeah, so he dropped the ball right there. Now the third base umpire, James Hoy, he went out there and said no catch. And I'm sure that's what Delmon Young heard or saw maybe. He went advanced to second.
Valencia gets the ground ball off the bat of Tollison. He's quickly retired. 1 away.
Now, when an umpire does that, and Hoy went out there and went like that, Delmon, seeing that he went to second, isn't that deceiving the runner? Delmon should be awarded maybe back to first because of the cross-up.
Well, again, it's although in the case of the late April game in Detroit, Denard Span was in a full sprint to the gap on Johnny Damon's drive, and it was a different umpiring crew. And it looked like a catch. It smelled like a catch, but they ruled no catch because Span did not show control of the ball out of the glove. And it was all part of what turned out to be a 6-run inning for Detroit. And the Tigers took off from there and moved into first place. And they looked at that play as one of the turning points we were just talking about. Maybe a big play along the way that could get your season going. And now here, essentially the same play is made, and the Twins don't get the same interpretation. Nubbed, foul, 1-2.
Well, the Tigers must have had another play that turned their season around because they're 15 behind the
Twins. Like I said, at the time, But they did move into first place and stayed there until right before the All-Star break. We'll show you the play we're talking about a little bit later on. This one poked foul into the seats. You know, and we've had, I think, two different interpretations, too, of the play at second base, extracting the ball out of the glove. And I don't think the Twins have gotten the call on either one of those where the ball has been dropped. We had it here the other night where the ball was never in control by the middle infielder on the flip from the shortstop. I think it was the second baseman, or maybe it was in Chicago, where Beckham never had the ball in his glove.
And they called him out.
And they called him out. 2-2 to Rajai Davis. Valencia gets another chance. And Davis retired out number 2. 3 times now that Davis has grounded out to Valencia.
That's why you come to and watch a baseball game or come out to a ball game. You'll see things that you very seldomly see. Scotty Alger, now the acting manager, as Ron Gardenhire got ejected. Which you could almost see Gardy saying probably the same thing that we're saying right here. See, it happened to Span in Detroit, all these things.
The umpires on that day in Detroit, Gary Darling, Mike Estabrook, Bruce Dreckman, and Paul Emmel. And it was third base umpire Paul Emmel who emphatically signaled that Span did not catch the ball back then. As it was the case here, you said you saw the third base umpire today rule of fair ball. It's in play.
James Hoy ran out toward left field saying no catch. But I guess he was overruled.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
How can you overrule an umpire?
I've had umpires tell me that in that instance, back in late April, that the umpire made the right call. According to the rule book, you have to show control of the ball as you release it from the glove. But as I said before, if it looks like a catch and smells like a catch, it should be a catch.
Yeah, and then we saw John Hirschbeck say the safe call to Delman Young at second base. So
1-2. And that skips into center field. Barton has his second hit. It comes with 2 outs in the 5th. That's like in the NFL last week in the Lions-Bears game. Guy catches a football in the end zone. He spins around. He's got control of it. The ball touches the ground. He doesn't come up with it. Looked like a catch, but it wasn't ruled a catch. Mark Ellis will hit. He's got 2 more hits against Liriano. He's now 7 for 12 against him. Mentioned that the White Sox are hosting the Tigers tonight. Then Chicago has to fly to the West Coast to take on the A's. It'll be a long night for them. A couple of other games of interest. The Yankees leading the Orioles 3-1 in the 6th. And the Angels now leading the Rays 5-1 in the 5th. And those games important in the Twins' pursuit of having the best overall record in the American League.
Yeah, the Rays winning another ball game against the Angels late in Tampa. And last night's victory over the Angels.
2-0 to Ellis. And a throw to first.
Oh, you mentioned the numbers of Ellis against Liriano, and usually it's because of reasons like this. Ellis getting a pitch maybe he can handle right here because Liriano's 2-0 on him.
And a called strike, 2-1. Ellis looks back at Laz Diaz. Liriano looking for his 15th win. Carl Pavano has already reached the 15-win level. It'll be the first time in 9 years where the Twins have had more than one pitcher with 15 wins. Back then, Joe Mays, Brad Ratke, and Eric Milton got to that level, 3-1. So with 2 outs, Liriano wants to make sure nothing mushrooms here. High drive to deep left field. That one's not going to come back. Ellis continues to hit Francisco Liriano hard. a 2-run home run, and it's 5-0.
Only the 5th home run that Liriano has allowed this year. All of them the right-handed hitters, but again, Ellis, good numbers. Y fell behind an account, got to 3-1, and hits a 2-run home run. It's a 5-0 lead. So Ellis hitting just his 4th home run of the year, but 3 for 3 against Liriano with a double, single, and now a 2-run home run.
Kurt Suzuki singled in a run in the first, bounced into a double play in the third. Strike on the outside corner. To right center field and carrying fairly deep. Recco has it measured. That ends the inning, but again with 2 outs, the A's get a couple of big hits, and now they lead 5-0. Beautiful Sunday afternoon here at Target Field. The score not as pretty as we would like. Jim Rich, Bert Blylev, and Dick Kramer about halfway through the game, and the A's have a 5-0 lead. Jason Repko will lead off the 5th against Bobby Kramer, who now has a 5-0 lead to work with, and he hits the outside corner, strike 1.
Kramer, 3 walks in a ball game, 2 strikeouts. He's only given up 2 hits, both of them in the 3rd inning. Ben Revere's major league first hit, and then Joe Mauer single to left.
Rocketed foul off the tarp. 2 strikes to Repko. Twins have taken 2 leadoff walks, haven't been able to do much with it. Haven't gotten a runner to third base yet. 2 strikes to the leadoff man here in the 5th. Twins hoping to get on the board here and start whittling away at this 5-run lead. 1-2. Two and 2. A's fighting to stay in 2nd place in the American League West, hoping to stay above the 500 mark. There's a little dribbler foul. A's eliminated the Twins in the playoffs in 2006, and then they had a losing season in 2007, 8, and 9. They've been kind of bobbing at the 500 mark for most of the second half.
Yeah, 30 and 28 in the second half for the A's.
Charging is Iwamura, throwing on the run to Barton, 1 away. So 1 gone in the 5th. Nick Punto coming to the plate, and here's our Arby's trivia question this afternoon. Which player holds the Twins record for most consecutive at-bats without a hit? I think it's a pitcher.
Yes, I do. And I know when I came up, they said my swing was a lot like this.
And they didn't mean that as a compliment,
No,
did they?
no, they did not.
And I believe this guy from, I may have been listening to the game at the time, he broke the streak with a bunt single, I believe.
I believe so. And I believe he ended up getting like 2 or 3 hits in that ball game. When he
really?
He broke it, yep.
1 strike to Nick Punto. And there's strike 2.
I think it was 0 for 57, if I recall.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
Especially when you're only getting 3-4 at bats a week, every 4 days or whatever. He was a starting pitcher.
Right.
1-2. Well, Kramer, had the early run support, 3-0 before he threw a pitch. And now it's 5-0. Teams would like to build something against him. And
his pitch count's still very good, 65 pitches.
Liner picked off at the knees by Barton, 2 down. Ben Revere got a hit his last time up. For more on the Twin center fielder, let's go to Jim Rich.
Yeah, well, obviously that baseball that was taken out of play is going to be a very special keepsake for Ben Revere. Another keepsake he told me this morning he wants is the jersey he has on, number 37. But he says he's going to have to ask the Twins because he doesn't quite get that major league big-time salary yet, and he's not sure if he can afford a game-used jersey. So he's going to ask to see if he can take that one home and give it to his mom. Guys?
Jim, just tell him to do what I did. Steal them.
Well, that's not a bad idea. I'll pass that along.
Take it.
They won't miss it.
No.
Back then, in your first stint with the Twins, the major league uniforms, very often the numbers were stripped off them and then they were sent to the minor leagues, right?
Right, yeah. You didn't get an opportunity to really get them. So you had to steal them.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that because I ended up doing that with my high school uniform. And I finally gave it back. We made a caravan stop in Staples a couple years ago, and I, out of guilt, handed it back to my high school baseball coach, who said something along the lines, I didn't even know he even played for him.
Yeah.
That's how memorable my baseball career was. 2-2 to Revere.
He dropped down a little bit.
Full count.
So for the first time in a ball game, Kramer tried to sneak a breaking ball by going sidearm. The ball staying inside.
After the first one, the second one comes easy. Tell that to Chris Carter. 2 hits for Revere. A solid stroke to left.
Good hitting right here. A ball down and away. Just takes it the other way. So the speedy Rivera at first base with 2 outs.
4 of the 5 Oakland runs today have been driven in on 2-out hits. And looking to the top of the inning, it was a 2-out single by Barton right in front of an Ellis home run. We'll see if the Twins can string together some 2-out hits or maybe have Hardy get one out to get on the board here. Hardy with a pop to second, and he went down swinging in the third. Pounded foul, 2 strikes. Twins looking for win number 90. Only one team in baseball has 90 wins. That's the New York Yankees. Dribbler to the right side. Ellis, underhand flip to Barton. That ends the inning. The Twins get another Revere hit. Still haven't broken through against Bobby Kramer. Bobby Kramer.
Yeah, and offensively, it's been Mark Ellis. A double in his first at-bat in the first, then a base hit in the third, and then a 2-run home run in the fifth. Oakland jumped on Francisco Liriano, for 3 runs in the first, and then the Ellis 2-run home run in the fifth. That's an afternoon for Liriano. 5 innings, 7 hits allowed, 5 runs all earned, with a walk and 2 strikeouts. Alex Burnett coming into the ball game. He hasn't been out on that main mound for a while, making his 37th appearance. Burnett, a September call-up. Of course, he was with the Twins a couple different stints earlier this year.
And he'll face Matt Carson, Josh Donaldson, and Akinori Iwamura. Carson with a fly to right and a line drive to right so far. And Burnett hits the outside corner. Burnett, first couple months of the year, pretty important member of the bullpen, did a nice job, and it seemed like his role was elevating, increasing. Asked to pitch a little bit later in games, and then he struggled throwing some strikes, and he's the guy that hit Troy Tulowitzki and broke his wrist and put him on the shelf for 4 weeks.
And Troy Tulowitzki right now, I mentioned earlier, he's carrying that Colorado Rockies ball club right now. With 2 more home runs yesterday. 14 so far in the month of September he has hit.
2 strikes. And up high, a ball. You know, it might be that this incredible run that the Rockies have put together will all go for naught. They're still in 3rd place in the division by just a game. But you've got the Reds are in control of matters right now in the National League Central. With the Phillies ahead of the Braves now by 3 games, and then 3 teams slugging it out for maybe just 1 spot in the National League West, depending on whether the Braves can hang in there. Two and 2 to Carson. Fouled at the plate. In the American League, right now the Twins have the same lead as the Rangers. So if you are of the belief that the White Sox are still in it, then you got to believe the A's are still in it, because they're 10 games behind Texas. White Sox are 10 behind the Twins. And New York and Tampa, in any combination, champion wild card, are both 8 games or 7.5 games ahead of the Red Sox. Missing inside, 3 and 2. So in the American League, the field appears to be all but set. It's just a question of who's going to play who, when, and where. Full count. And another foul back. In retrospect now, it's been a long time, nearly 25 years. How much value did you place on the fact that the Twins in '87 were able to take care of matters on a Monday and had the rest of that last week of the regular season to A, rest players, and then B, set up the rotation?
Yeah, I think that's the big key. But what we have seen over the years, it's the wild card. And there's a good fastball inside, and Burnett ends up striking out Carson for the first out.
Here's the Chevy game break and some of the other scores of note. The Yankees leading the Orioles. It's 5-1 Angels over Rays. And tonight, Jeremy Bonderman at U.S. Cellular Field against John Danks. And the Tigers have won the first 2 games of that series.
Now, going back to what we were talking about, I think it was very important for Tom Kelly and his coaching staff to get everybody set, you know, to who's going to start game 1, 2, and 3. We only used 3 starters. That's all we needed.
You pitched games
2.
Just in game 2.
And 5. In postseason against the Tigers.
That's right.
Then 2 and 5 in a World Series.
2 and 5 in a World Series. Want to note to Jack Cust hitting in the DH spot for Josh Donaldson. Technically a pinch hitting appearance. Up and away, 2-0. But you not only clinched the playoff berth, early, you clinched the series early, and then could set things up again for the World Series.
Again, I was going to also talking about, we've seen a wild card go all the way to the World Series and win the World Series because you have the momentum going. I always bring up Seattle when they won 116 ball games and ran away with their division. Once they got into postseason, they weren't playing as good a baseball toward that latter part of the season than they were, to get 116 wins.
3-0 to Cust.
Momentum is a big part of a successful season, especially toward the end of the season.
I remember, and momentum can come from the oddest places. I remember a few years ago, the Cardinals in the first half were very good, and they really limped into the playoffs in the second half of the year. But once the playoffs started, they found that spark, and it took them all the way to a World Series win over the Tigers in 2006. 3-1 to Cust. And he walks. So Carson strikes out. Cust walks, and that'll bring up Iwamura. Tickets are available for the series with the Indians tomorrow night, Tuesday night, Wednesday afternoon. And to get fans in the optimistic postseason spirit, the first 30,000 fans at each game against Cleveland will receive a classic Homer hanky from last year's playoff run. You can log on to twinsbaseball.com or call 833-TWINS for more info. Here's Iwamura. And Burnett. And having a tough time throwing strikes here. 14 pitches, just 6 over the plate.
When he was up earlier this year, Burnett, I thought, did a great job of controlling his fastball. He was down in the strike zone, but his second stint and now right here, he's having trouble with that pitch right there, the fastball. When you can't get the fastball over consistently, hitters are going to start looking. You're going to fall behind. They're going to, hit you a little bit harder. But everything, again, keys off the fastball. And you got a young guy like Alex Burnett, 23 years old. This is his first season at the major league level. He went down to work on one thing, control the fastball. And he struck out Carson on a 3-2 fastball inside. That was very close. Then he walked Jack Cust. And now he's behind again. There's another ball.
3-0.
Alex Burnett actually got his first major league win against the Oakland A's in Oakland back on June 5th. Twins won that game 4-3. It's a game that Liriano started.
3-1. Two.
Better. 2 good fastballs down.
Runner goes, and the pitch fouled back. So the A's sending Jack Cust with 1 out on the count full. Iwamura driving in the second and third runs of the game for the A's with a first inning single. And then Liriano struck him out swinging in the 4th. Another 3-2. Cust goes again. And fouled back again. I mentioned Scott Baker's birthday today. Twins made it official that he'll start Tuesday's game, which will allow Liriano's next start to be pushed back even further.
Yeah, Baker has a lot to prove on Tuesday because you know what? If they only carry 11 pitchers in postseason, there's going to be some guys left off that roster.
Cust goes, and a balk call. Burnett.
We saw him do that earlier this year.
Yeah. So he never did release the ball and took a tumble, pushing off the rubber.
That's exactly what we saw earlier this year, that left foot landing, and then he decides not to throw the ball. I think the other one he did throw it, but he kind of popped it in.
So now the 3-2 pitch for the runner at second. And another foul back by Iwamura. Fouling out of play. Underside of downtown, the Vikings just lost 14-10.
Well, you know, I don't know all baseball rules, Dick, but when he was going to throw home and a balk was called, isn't that a ball on the hitter?
No, I don't think so.
Not a ball?
No. 3-2 to Iwamura. Swing and a miss. Iwamura strikes out for out number 2. Now, what can happen on a balk, you can balk, deliver the ball to the plate, and the hitter can hit a triple, and then the hitting team can decline the balk.
Right. If a balk, yeah, I understand that. But I thought once that Burnett started his motion home and a balk was called, it was a ball to the batter.
Here's our Arby's trivia question. The Twins record for most consecutive at-bats, Dean Chance, 53 of them. And Butch Weiniger, that ball gets through Mauer, and Carter with a swing and a miss. Watches Cuss now advance to third on
it's called a wild pitch.
A wild pitch. Okay. Carter still looking for his first major league hit. He's 0 for 31. He has put the ball in play twice. A couple of infield pop-ups. One strike. And now a ball. You know, it's one thing to go 0 for 31. That's going to be hard for any hitter to deal with. But when you start your career that way, that's got to be tough. He's been susceptible to breaking balls down and away. At least in this series, the Twins have struck him out a few times with sliders down and away. Burnett sees that pitch fouled back, still 1-2. Burnett trying to pitch around the one-out walk, balk, and wild pitch. Just missed the inside corner. Close pitch, and it's 2-2. He lays off that breaking pitch, and it's a full count with Steve Tollefson on deck.
This will be pitch number 30 in the inning for Alex Burnett.
A pop up right side. Punto looking up into the sun, and it's Repko almost in the shade. Carter pops up again, and Burnett pitches a scoreless 6. center.
Well, we still don't know if it was called an out. I think it's called an out right there, and then Delmon Young doubled off at second base. Third base umpire Jim Hoy said no, but ended up being a catch. Ron Gardenhire ended up getting thrown out of the ball game.
And Delmon Young was called out at second base, so it was one of the weirdest double plays you'll ever see. Joe Mauer leading off with 6. And again, what infuriated the Twins manager was the very same play occurred in Detroit in late April. We'll show that to you in just a little bit. Strike on the inside corner. Mauer with a one-hop smash against the pitcher for an out in the first. And then he sliced a single to left in the third. Twins had just 3 hits, 2 singles by Ben Revere and Mauer's single. Tapper right side and an easy play for Ellis. Let's go back to that late April game in Detroit, specifically the 28th of April. Denard Span running to the gap.
Yeah, 1-2 in the exchange. He dropped the ball, and they said that was no catch.
And it was all part of a 6-run inning for the Tigers. A completely different umpiring crew, but essentially the same call made 2 different ways, and both calls made really hurt the Twins. Here's Michael Cuddyer with 1 quick out here in the 6th. Gabe Grossin now playing in left field for Chris Carter, who will leave Minnesota without a hit. Two and 0 to Cuddyer. Driven deep to left. And Cuddier's hit his first home run at Target Field in more than 4 months. It's 5-1.
Well, that gets a crowd on its feet right here. They were pretty much relaxing a little bit too much on this beautiful Sunday afternoon with that 5-0 deficit. And Cuddyer hitting home run number 13 on the year, and his first here at Target Field since May 8th. Got a fastball, a line drive home run.
So it's 5-1, and here's Delmon Young. He has struck out and walked. Strike 1. And now a ball. These have some activity started in their bullpen.
Yeah, again, Kramer in his major league debut in Kansas City went 5 1/3 innings. Did give up 1 run, and that on a home run.
High fly to left. Gross and Davis, and it's Davis going down to a knee almost to squeeze that one out, number 2. Today's high-speed pitch brought to you by Comcast.
Yeah, Bobby Kramer making his second major league start at 89 miles an hour. Liriano worked the first 5 innings. He was clocked as high as 94.
Thome with a warning track fly to center in the second, then a shorter fly ball to center in the 4th. Hayes put the infield shift on for Thome. Ball 1. Shadows creeping out from the first baseline out toward the field now as we get into the mid-afternoon. 1-1. Slow breaking ball for strike 2.
Good bite on that curveball right there. It took him a long time to get to the major leagues, but Kramer, 2 pretty good starts so far.
That's deep to left. And Thome got another good look at a curveball and whacked it over the left field fence. It's 5-2.
Home run number 24 on the year for Jim Thome.
Almost like the same pitch Thome took for a strike.
That one stayed up a little bit longer.
And ended up in left field.
Yes. So the Twins hitting a couple solo home runs here in the 6th inning. See a little bit higher, a little bit longer, and see you later, baseball.
And Bob Guerin's going to come to the mound after a couple of home runs hit in the same vicinity in the left field bleachers. One by Cuddyer, one by Thome.
Thome with 588 home runs now.
So the Twins on the board twice on a pair of solo home runs. Kramer leaves in position to go 2-0 as a big leaguer. But the Twins jump back into the game with a couple of long balls. Fourth. Twins are within striking distance at 5-2, and the A's go to their bullpen.
Well, Brad Ziegler coming into the ball game. He worked the 8th inning yesterday and threw 15 pitches, 10 for strikes, had a couple strikeouts, making his 60th appearance for the A's. Very solid bullpen, just like the Twins. 5th in the American League in bullpen combined ERA at 3.66. The Twins the best at 3.21 combined ERAs.
One of the guys Ziegler struck out was Danny Valencia, and Valencia will hit here with 2 outs, 2 in the bottom of the 6th, strike 1. Checked his swing, we think. 1-1. Ziegler, his delivery curious, of course, very tough against right-handers. The problem he has is getting left-hand hitters out. But there aren't many options for the Twins in that regard unless they start using their switch hitters. Down low, 2-1. Right-handers hitting just 209 against Ziegler. Lefties hitting 321. But Span and Kubel, we think, are going to get another day off. Sharply hit. Nice stop. Pennington comes up with a low throw. Barton with a long stretch at first. And the inning ends. But Cuddyer and Thome homer. The Twins are on the board and back within 3.
Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Joe Mauer has been taken out of the ball game. Jose Morales is going to catch, and Pat Neshek is going to pitch. Cliff Pennington is going to hit for Steve Collison, who was the shortstop who made that nice play to end the bottom of the 6th inning.
Yeah, Neshek making his 8th relief appearance, 5 1/3 innings, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts for Pat.
And Neshek delivers a strike, so don't know why Mauer was taken out of the game or Morales was put in. The Twins are back in the game, down by 3. Fouled over the Oakland on deck circle. And if we get any word as to whether there's a physical reason for Mauer to leave the game, we'll pass that along to you. Pennington, Davis, and Barton to face Neshek. Neshek hoping to throw strikes and find some velocity along the way. 86 miles per hour with a fastball.
Well, again, you know what? I mean, they talk about velocity. What's hurt Neshek is he falls behind an account. Then he has to throw that straight fastball rather than that fastball has movement like that. So Neshek comes in and strikes out Pennington.
Well, he gets a strikeout here. Wouldn't want to be an Oakland hitter right now. You've got a, regardless of how fast it is, you've got a guy with this weird delivery in the shadow now about halfway between home plate and the mound. Ball 1. Rajai Davis has hit 3 ground balls to Danny Valencia. Two 2-0. Neshek in Rochester clocked 88, 89 on a consistent basis, and the Twins just haven't seen that. It's been a couple miles per hour off of that. Foul back. First the Tommy John surgery and then finger and hand issues this year, crippling Neshek's chances of being with the Twins on a regular basis. And these counts too, 3-1. They don't help. Davis, very good speed. Twins don't want to put him aboard. And Neshek hits the outside corner at 84 miles per hour. And he walked him. So Neshek following the track that Burnett had in the 6th inning. A strikeout followed by a walk. Bottom of the 8th, the Orioles down a couple to the Yankees, and the Angels have opened up a 6-1 lead on the Rays. And tonight, the Tigers will wrap up their series in Chicago against the White Sox. White Sox are a little hamstrung right now with the acquisition of Manny Ramirez, and they're paying him an awful lot of money for the balance of this season. Ozzie Guillen feels compelled to have him in the lineup at a time now where the White Sox, because they're so far back, would like to take a look at some other people on the field or in the DH spot. Here's Derek Barton, a pair of singles and a pair of runs scored.
Good speed at first base. Davis with 44 stolen bases in 53 attempts. Neshek couple throwovers.
Inside, ball 1. One and one. second single, really a costly one. It came with 2 outs in the 5th. And then Liriano, trying to get Ellis, fell behind him and served up a 2-run home run. And that pushed the lead out to 5-0. Neshek misses inside. It's 2-1. They've got him picked off. Kanayer's throw to Hardy. And Davis is picked off for the second out.
Yeah, Davis took a chance right there that I think that he thought Neshek was going to go home. Once Neshek dropped those hands right there, a throw over. Yeah, it's too late. Davis hustling the second, but is tagged out by J.J. Hardy for the second out.
So 2 down, 2-1 the count to Barton. Three and one. And there's a second walk of the inning by Neshek. See if we can see anything in Joe Mauer's last at bat that might have led to his leaving the game.
Well, he gets banged up a lot, you know. Mauer right there. Hustling down the line.
He's got a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up there.
Yeah.
And Mauer left the dugout, went to the clubhouse. So now Barton at first with 2 outs, and Ellis will hit.
Ellis a double in the first, a single in the third, and a 2-run home run in the 5th. Triple away from a cycle.
Ball 1, and Neshek really struggling, as Burnett did. 16 pitches, just 6 strikes for Neshek here in the 7th inning.
Last Oakland A to hit for the cycle was Mark Ellis back in 2007 in Oakland against the Boston Red Sox.
2-1. His 3 hits all coming against Liriano, and for whatever reason Ellis with great success against Liriano. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Randy Flores warming up in the Twins pen. Just off the plate, and it's a full count.
He went back to that frisbee type slider. You've got Brad Ziegler came in relief. Now you got Pat Neshek. Does anybody throw over the top anymore?
Barton will take off early from first. And a close pitch, a breaking pitch, and it's the 3rd walk in a row issued by Pat Neshek. Kurt Suzuki to the plate. Fans, the Twins Wives organization is auctioning off a one-of-a-kind quilt comprised of 2010 inaugural season Homer hankies, and it's signed by just about every member of the Twins team. Proceeds from the quilt will help rebuild the baseball field in Wadena, Minnesota, in the north central part of the state because of the tornado back in mid-June. Today is the last day to bid on the quilt, so visit twinsbaseball.com and click on auctions. 1 strike to Suzuki. Suzuki with an RBI single in the first. Ground ball, double play, and a fly to right. "23 pitches, 9 strikes for Neshek. Nice pickoff by Punto. They get the force at second.
What a great play by Nick Punto.
A rocket headed up the middle, but Punto intercepted it, and they got the force at second to end the inning.
And then backhand flip to Hardy.
In the Duke campaign, encourage you to get up and groove your body during the 7th inning stretch. Twins down 5-2. Take a look at the Toyota game summary.
Yeah, in the first inning against Lariano, the A's scored 3 runs off of Lariano. Ben Rivera with an error right there. In the 5th inning was a 2-run home run off the bat of Mark Ellis. His 3rd hit of the ballgame off of Lariano made it a 5-0 ball game, but the Twins coming back with a couple solo home runs. One by Kadire, one by Jim Thome. Twins down by 3. Still got a chance.
3 innings worth of at-bats left.
Yep.
And Jason Repko will lead things off. Nick Punto, a switch hitter, will hit next. And then a lefty, Ben Revere. How long Bob Guerin goes with Ziegler remains to be seen. We talked about the splits. Right-handed versus left-handed for Ziegler. And we'll see how the A's play this out here. Repko takes strike 1. Repko with a fly to center and a ground ball to third.
Just to go back to last inning, Dick, that quilt, right now the highest bid is $4,290.
Oh, that's awesome.
For that quilt. So very, very nice.
Repko up there now with 2 strikes. And the very sentiment we expressed regarding Neshek being out there with the shadows in combination with the funky delivery now comes into play with the Twins hitting in the bottom of the inning. And Repko waves through a breaking ball, strike 1.
Yeah, big old frisbee.
Twins are home tomorrow night, first of 3 with the Indians. It'll be another Schweigert's $1 a Dog Day presented by Country Hearts Bakeries. Hot dogs will be just $1 at select concession stands. Limit 2 per person while supplies last. Tickets are very limited. Call 800-33-TWINS. Join the fun of Schweigert's $1 a Dog Monday. Here's Punto, who's been a better left-handed hitter than right this year. And he'll take his swings against Ziegler. 1-0. 2-0.
Well, you can kind of see because of that frisbee type slider goes right into left-handers, but what he needs to control is that pitch right there, the fastball down and away.
And to your point about Neshek, you can see that's a 2-0 pitch, and Ziegler trying to get it over. His fastball's 82 miles per hour. Foul back at 84. 2-2 to Punto. Twins have a couple of solo home runs, but they really haven't done much to build an inning with walks and singles bunched together. A couple of walks in the second, couple of singles in the third. 2-2 to Punto. How many times you see a guy makes a great defensive play and he hits second in an inning?
Yeah. 1 out of 9 times. You know what? Let's go back to that velocity, too. You know, everybody's talking Neshek isn't going, 88, 89. But again, you look at Ziegler. You just mentioned it. You know, here's a guy that's had success at the major league level by throwing strikes. That's the thing that, when Neshek, when he pitched for the Twins last year, he hit his spots. He kept the ball down nicely. We saw him that inning, last inning. He walked 3 guys. Why? Because he was all over the place.
3-2 to Punto. And he walked. So Punto draws a 1-out walk, and that'll get Ben Revere to the plate, who slapped his first 2 major league hits into the outfield.
Yeah, today this in his second at bat. He got a base hit right up the middle, right off of Bobby Kramer. So congratulations to Ben Revere. A souvenir. Over to Orlando Hudson, over to Dave Brumer, and who knows where that ball is now.
Here's Revere trying to get aboard to get Hardy to the plate, representing the tying run. Outside of ball.
I wonder what happens when a trainer gets a baseball like that. Does he go inside, put it in the medical kit, and put some Band-Aids on it, maybe a wrap? Chris Carter saying, you know what, I'm going to get mine pretty soon.
Trainers, they can't be the guys writing on the baseballs, right? I mean, trainers are in the medical profession, and if they got the same handwriting as doctors,
you won't be able to read it.
You wouldn't be able to read it anyway.
No.
Michael Wirtz warming up in the Oakland bullpen. Kurt Young making a trip to the mound. 1-0 to Revere.
Just found out that the quilt is now up to $5,100.
They did a credit check on you and went ahead and accepted your bid.
Very nice. I made a bid earlier, but not that much. Very nice. $5,100. Remember that quilt we had that young lady made up for us?
Floodwood, Minnesota.
Raised $5,000 for Parkinson's.
Strike called, and it's 1-2 to Revere. Well, here's the quilt. Again, the bidding wraps up today, and the Twins' wives helping a very good cause.
Very nice.
1-2 to Ben Revere. Oh, what a catch! Is it a fair ball? Out at first, and now the second base umpire is saying that ball was fielded on the ground. And the shortstop, Pennington, diving to his right. I thought he caught it on the fly, but at least Punto had the presence of mind to advance to second base.
Yeah, John Hirschbeck, the second base umpire, and the crew chief here. Rivera taking it the other way. Pennington diving to his right.
He caught that ball.
Sure looks like he caught it. And you can see.
Well,
you can see, Brad Ziegler saying he caught it. He caught it.
One and 0 to J.J. Hardy. The Twins would love to get a hit to the outfield here and get one back in the 7th. Chop foul, 1-1. If you just joined us, we had situation earlier in the game in the fourth inning. There was a dispute as to whether a ball was caught in the outfield or not, and it led to the ejection of manager Ron Gardenhire. Down and in, and it's 2-1. Remember that Joe Mauer left the game, so behind Hardy is Jose Morales. Three and one, first base open, and it's Morales in the on-deck circle, not Mauer. And Suzuki will go to the mound. Hardy looking for his first hit, moving up to the second spot in the batting order, typically hitting ninth. This would be a good spot for an RBI single. That's hit pretty well to right field. Carson in the shadows makes the catch near the edge of the track, and the Twins lead Punto at second. Twins trail by 3 heading to the 8th. Check out FoxSportsNorth.com tomorrow morning for Cakes for a Cause. We'll have a live stream on the website. Michael Kadire and Jesse Crane will be on hand, hosting a pancake breakfast for the Cheerful Givers organization. That's tomorrow morning at 9:30, live on FoxSportsNorth.com. Cheerful Givers, by the way, an organization that provides underprivileged kids with gift bags on their birthdays. And I made note that the wording of this promo says nothing about the pancakes actually being cooked by Kadire and Crane. They're hosting it, but I don't know that they're to be trusted making pancakes.
I'll tell you what, anytime that there's an event that involves kids, you'll see Michael Kadire.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. One of the great leaders of the Boys and Girls Club cause here in the Twin Cities. Randy Flores coming out of the Twins bullpen here in the 8th.
Well, Flores making his 8th appearance. He's worked only 1 1/3 innings so far in his first 7 appearances as a Twin. He's given up 7 hits, a walk and a strikeout. So Flores needs a good outing right here. Flores claimed off waivers from the Colorado Rockies back on August 25th.
Matt Carson, a right-handed batter, and then Jack Cust, a lefty. And another lefty, Iwamura. And it'll be an important inning for Flores, who has given up, as you said, all those hits and really struggled getting left-handed batters out, which is why he was acquired in the first place. Carson takes up and in, 1-1.
Flores a guy that's not overpowering. He'll top out at 86 to 88 in that range right there, but it's a slider that has really kept him at major league level. Good fastball right there at 87.
1-2. And Flores strikes out the right-handed.
Good slider right there.
Manager watching the telecast in the Twins clubhouse because of this play in the 4th inning.
Well, Davis right here, the center fielder, in the exchange, dropped the ball, and then there was a little confusion, I think, what was going on. Delmon Young thought it was a drop ball. He went to second base. You know, the umpire saying, no, he caught it, and Delmon Young was forced out at second. He's tagged out for a double play. Gardy got thrown out. Just kind of throw your hands up. What happened?
And especially as the reference point for all of that, what happened in Detroit in late April. Up and in to Cust. Randy Flores has faced 8 left-handed batters since coming to the Twins. 7 of them have reached. He's given up 6 hits and a walk. So now he'll face Cust and Iwamura here. And in his last outing, he faced a couple of lefties and tried to get them out with his fastball. Gave up base hits. And he admitted afterwards he was just being stubborn because he'd been giving up hits on his slider. And he wanted to try to get the outs with a fastball. Now he falls behind Cust.
Some pretty good pitches right there, just missing.
3-0. And he walks Cust. And another lefty, Iwamura, will come up.
Alex Burnett came in. He struck out his first batter, then walked the next. Pat Neshek did the same thing. And now Flores comes in. He strikes out his first batter and then walks Jack Cust. So there's a pattern going on here.
Iwamura with a 2-run, 2-out single in the first. Since then, a couple of swinging strikeouts.
But the most important thing, they didn't score in the 6th or 7th.
High fly to center. Revere back for the catch. So Iwamura retired for the 2nd out, and that'll bring up Gross. Chris Carter again replaced after a couple of fruitless at bats. So he'll head home to Oakland. Officially as a big leaguer, 0 for 32.
Maybe he just wants to get the hit at home. I hope he does.
Well, I do too.
I do. Yep. I hope he does.
You don't wish that on anybody.
No.
Work so hard to get to the big leagues, and then you can't get to your first 9.
And then it becomes the mental block, you know, where all of a sudden you're feeling for the ball rather than just let your bat fly.
1 strike to Gross. Right-handed batting Pennington is on deck. Orioles have tied up the Yankees in the 9th inning. Luke Scott with a home run. And so that game is tied, and it looks as if the Rays are going to lose. And the Twins trying to chase both of those teams for the best record in the American League, which would wrap up home field advantage for the 2nd round of the playoffs should the Twins get there. Cust takes off. Morales' throw. He's out. He didn't ever slid. If he slides, he's safe. He stepped right into the tag. So that ends the 8th inning. Joe Mauer, who left the game after his 6th inning at bat.
Yeah, the reports coming out of the clubhouse, Joe Mauer leaving with a jammed left knee. Gingerly kind of ran down first base and then in the dugout kind of bent over and talked to the trainers, ended up leaving the ball game. So Morales getting some time behind the plate, and now he gets an at-bat.
Mauer had gone 1 for 3. And the Twins and Morales will hope to put together a rally here in the 8th against Minnesota native Michael Wirtz. It will be Morales, Cuddyer, Young, Thome, Valencia, so on and so forth. Twins hope to send a bunch of guys to the plate here. There's strike 1.
Yeah, Wirtz worked here on Friday night, faced only one hitter. That was Jason Repko, who got an infield base hit off of him, then came out of the ball game. Threw only 5 pitches, 3 for strikes.
One and one for a good part of the second half. One of the reasons the Twins are where they are. They've, on a regular basis, batted around in an inning. They did it yesterday, sending 9 men to the plate in the 6th. Here today, the most number of hitters they've sent to the plate is 5. They really haven't cluttered the bases yet today. We'll see if Morales can get aboard to start the inning. Two and one to Morales, switch hitting catcher. 3-1, Cuddyer on deck. Swing and a miss, 3-2. Twins trying to take the magic number down a notch from 5. And a little roller. Ellis gets in front of it. Morales thrown out, 1 away. Let's go to Jim Rich.
Thanks, Dick. Want to remind everybody coming up right after the game here on My 29 to stay tuned for our Extra Bases post-game show. Al Newman will join me. We'll talk more about that controversial call in center field. Just why was Delmon Young called out as well? And we'll go to the clubhouse and hear more from the Twins on Joe Mauer. Get the latest information, see if he will be ready to play against Cleveland. That's coming up right after the game here on My 29. Guys?
Thanks, Jim. Michael Cuddyer lined a home run to left his last time up to get the Twins on the board. Later in the inning, Jim Thome hit one. For the only 2 Twins runs on the board so far. 1-1. Wirtz fighting the strike zone a little bit. 9 pitches, just 4 strikes.
I mentioned the other night that Wirtz started the season on a disabled list, was not activated until early May. Started the season with some tendonitis in that right shoulder. He's in his 2nd season with the A's.
Towering pop-up that'll reach the seats. 2-2. Two and 2 to the Twins' first baseman. And another full count.
Wirtz originally signed by the Cubs in 1997 out of Austin High School, Austin, Minnesota.
Full count to Cuddyer. With a breaking ball, 2 away.
Hard slider right there. So Wirtz picks up a strikeout. 3-2. Well, almost like a split finger. That wasn't a slider. That was something that just dropped right there.
Two down, and here's Delmon Young. Delmon 0 for 2 with a walk. He was the base runner at first, who ended up being retired at second in the disputed play. Ball one. Twins, since the All-Star break, have lost just 2 series. They're in danger of losing this one here. It's toward the hole. Pennington with a quick release. Safe at first. And Young will reach with an awkward tag at first. And he appears to be okay. Pennington from the hole got rid of it quickly, but off target.
Yeah, they'll throw a little bit on the infield side, and Darren Barton coming off the bag. And then took a swipe at Young. Great play right here by Pennington. He got rid of it quickly in the short hop. And Barton thought that he put a tag on Delmon Young, but he reached around that tag and gets an infield base hit.
Pretty nice footwork by the runner. Staying in the lane, reaching first. Here's Thome, who homered his last time up. In the dirt, Suzuki with a block. So Thome today, just the one hit, but a warning track fly ball to center in the second, and a more routine fly ball in the fourth, and then an opposite field home run. You see so few opposite field home runs in this ballpark, and yet Thome does it on a regular basis. Half swing, but he went 1-1. Tapper right side. Barton will go to the bag and end the inning. So the Twins get an infield hit, but nothing else against Michael Wirtz.
You are hereby circled, young ladies. Another great crowd here. Hey, Vikings lost today, Dick.
They did.
Yeah, 14-10 to the Dolphins.
Jeff Manship will come out of the Twins' pen here in the ninth inning.
You're looking at a guy right there that basically spent the whole season living out of a suitcase. 5 stints up and down with the Twins throughout the year. This is his 10th appearance. Made a start for the Twins Manship, very good ERA, 2.92 in 24 2/3 innings.
Gross was at the plate when Cusk was thrown out trying to steal standing up. And it'll be Gross, Pennington, and Davis here in the Oakland ninth.
I think what we're seeing, Dick, is, Alex Burnett, Pat Neshek, Randy Flores, now Jeff Manship, some guys getting some work in that haven't had a lot of, main field mound time. A lot of throwing in the bullpen, but this is game situation here.
Laureano went 5 innings after showing up at the ballpark with skin irritation and a lack of sleep because of it. Strike of the knees, 2-1. $13 games for the Twins after this game. Here's a hard ground ball. And that came up and got Hardy.
Yeah.
And Gross will reach on a Hardy error.
Boy, that ball hit hard right there, and right at the last second kind of came up and somehow found a way through the wickets of J.J. Hardy. Gross hitting it sharply the other way. Hardy in front of it. And the ball, I think, just stayed down. Maybe expected that ball to come up.
Thankfully, Hardy is okay. Gross is aboard. And there's a bunt laid up the line, and Morales will push it foul. 1 strike. So the A's trying to add a 4th run to the lead here. Andrew Bailey, the closer, would have a save situation here if the Oakland manager wants to spin the game in his direction.
Yeah, Pennington with 10 sacrifices on the year, a switch hitter. 7 of the 10 coming from this side of the plate. Not show bunt there.
Pennington, the guy the A's handed the shortstop job to last year when the A's traded Orlando Cabrera to the Twins. Remember how valuable Cabrera was down the stretch for the Twins. Well, they got him from Oakland, and Oakland traded him because they felt Pennington was ready. That's past Valencia and into left field, and the A's have something started here in the 9th.
Yeah, Pennington, #1 pick by the Oakland A's out of Texas A&M back in 2005. So they do expect him to be consistent at the major league level.
So Pennington bunted once foul and then got a base hit. We'll see how many bunt attempts Davis attempts here. Danny Valencia giving some signs from third base. Middle infielders back. Valencia and Caray are about the edge of the grass.
Now Davis with only 1 sacrifice on the year.
And strike 1. Took a strike.
Mike Gallego, the third base coach for Bob Geren.
Now, I bet if we'd asked Mike Gallego, he'd have made the right call on that fly ball to left center, you think?
Honest man. The play was on and somebody missed something. J.J. Hardy kind of cut in behind the runner at second and left shortstop open.
Similar to the play the Twins put on the road trip, where they try to get the runner leaning back towards second base.
That was more the daylight play right there. I think J.J. Hardy wanted Manship to spin and throw to second.
1-1 to Davis. 2-1.
If they're going to give you an out, you have to make them bunt the ball right here. See how that shadow's affecting the play on the field.
2-2, and Davis goes for a stroll.
Oh, fastball right here. Oh, wow, thank you.
So 2-2. And Davis never did bunt the ball yet. I doubt he'd be doing it here with 2 strikes. And so he rips one to the gap in left center. Gross is going to come around and score. The throw to second base. So in each possible bunting situation, the A's don't get the bunt down and instead get a base hit.
Yeah, Manship left the breaking ball up right there. Davis getting his first hit of the ball game, driving in his 47th run.
And Scotty Elder's going to come to the mound here and at least talk to Jeff Manship. Might make a pitching change here. Left-hand hitting Derek Barton due up. Jose Majares will pitch next for the Twins with 2 on and 1 run already in. At least one so far. And for Twins partial season ticket holders, a reminder that your opportunity to reserve postseason tickets this year is tomorrow and Tuesday. If you have any questions at all, and this is, of course, the first time we've done this under these circumstances.
Give me your
here.
cell number.
Yeah, don't call me. Call the Twins season ticket holder website. Visit the website or call your Twins sales rep to get all the necessary details. Again, the postseason opportunity for partial season ticket holders begins tomorrow. No, don't ask me. I don't know myself. I hope the Twins get there, and I hope to be able to get in the ballpark.
Jose Majares in the ballpark, making his 41st relief appearance, pitching for the first time in this 3-game series. Majares with a good fastball, hard slider. Good fastball there at 92.
One strike to Barton. The extra run for Oakland means right now it's not a save opportunity for Bailey or whoever else might enter the game in the ninth. The Rays have lost 6-3. So even if the Twins don't come back and win this game, they'll be just a half game behind Tampa. And the Orioles are batting in the bottom of the 10th in a tie game against the Yankees.
Twins have the infield in right here. Another good fastball, outer half of the plate.
1-2.
See the defense of the Twins. Majares needs a strikeout.
Oh my. Mark Ellis gets smoked by the line drive foul.
I saw him die.
Standing in the on-deck circle, and we think it hit him, if it's possible, in a good spot.
Whoa. Ouch.
He took one for our cameraman. We appreciate that. The fans sit closer to home plate here than the pitching mound is. Some of them do. The on-deck circle is very close, and it was inevitable that that was going to happen, and we're thankful that Ellis is okay. My goodness. Manny Acta of the Indians, the manager, he came in here in the first game. He sat right by where Bob Guerin is behind Ellis, and then he felt it was too close for him to sit, and so he'll come in here and sit at the far end of the dugout.
You know, you see all the players kind of leaning over the rail too. They're a lot closer than a lot of ballparks.
You know, the Twins, not that they're going to do this, but they could move the on-deck circle to the other end of the dugout, and you'd still be closer to home plate than you are at Fenway Park. The on-deck circle's there, and the dugouts are so far down the line. 3-2.
It's not a place you wanted to strike out.
Long walk back to the dugout,
boy,
yeah. And a bouncer to second. And Punto allows the runner in front of him to advance, keeping an eye on Pennington. They get an out, and now 2 men in scoring position. So Barton retired, and that'll bring up Ellis.
Well, that's why the infield was brought in right there. Kind of cut down that runner at third. Right off the end of the bat, Punto had really only one play, and that was to get the out at first. So they keep Pennington at third.
And the Twins are going to walk Ellis to pitch to Suzuki. Ellis won't have a chance for strategic reasons to complete the cycle here. He has a double, a single, a home run, and a walk. And here the Twins are trying to set up a ground ball double play to get out of the inning. All in all, a real good day at the plate for Mark Ellis. He'll have reached 5 times.
John Roush still warming up in the bullpen.
So Scotty Elger climbing the steps. He's going to make a move here with Maharis getting Barton, intentionally walking Ellis. And the Twins already down by 4 runs. It'll be the right-hander Roush who'll be asked to get the right-handed hitting Suzuki. More from Target Field coming up momentarily. Getting any rougher.
Well, for John Roush, he's making his 56th relief appearance. 3 wins, 1 loss. 21 saves out of that bullpen. Now Matt Capps the closer. So Roush right here asked maybe to get a ground ball double play right here. Hit the Twins. The A's have already scored 1 run to take a 6-2 lead. Bases loaded, 1 out for Kurt Suzuki.
Suzuki singled in the first run of the game back in the first inning. Since then, the Twins have gotten him out 3 times.
Yeah, he hit into a double play in the 3rd inning. That's what Twins would like to do. A little 6-4-3.
And a strike. Pop straight up. That'll work. Infield fly rule should be called, and is. Well, might have landed right on home plate. It's out number 2.
That's a big out right there. So Roush comes in and gets Suzuki to pop straight up for the 2nd out of the inning. Scheduled hitter was Matt Carson, excuse me.
Jeremy Hermida, who was part of the Red Sox team that opened up here at Target Field way back in early April. He'll hit for Carson.
Yeah, the Red Sox released Hermida, and then he ended up signing with the Oakland A's.
So Hermida with a chance to bust the game wide open, and Roush given the task here of not letting that happen. The run that the A's have scored here, an unearned run. Any subsequent runs would be unearned runs, but that's a statistical trivial bit of information. Twins trying to stay in this game down by 4, and Hermida takes a strike.
Good curveball right there by Roush.
Strike 2. Put an end to it right there on 3 pitches. Roush leaves the bases full. Twins got some coming back to do in the bottom of the 9th. Game reset with the A's getting 3 in the first.
Yeah, it was 3 runs in the first inning off of Francisco Liriano, and then Ellis hit the 2-run home run in the 5th. Made it a 5-0 lead. Twins came back with 5-2, but then the A's added another run. Breslow coming into the ball game. He'll start the 9th inning, making his 69th relief appearance. Breslow worked here a couple nights ago. 1 1/3 innings of shutout baseball through 20 pitches, 12 for strikes.
And he'll face Valencia, Repko, and Punto.
Good job by John Roush keeping this at a 4-run deficit. Let's see if the Twins have a rally in them here in the bottom.
And that it's a 4-run lead is the reason that Breslow is in rather than Andrew Bailey. Valencia 0 for 2 with a walk, trying to get aboard. And the Twins sending the 7, 8, and 9 batters up against Breslow, hoping to get the middle of the lineup up and a chance to get this game tied up. 1 strike to Valencia. 26th birthday today. And strike 2. And a 1-hopper. Chest high to Ellis. 1 down. Hermida stays in the game. 1 down, and Repko coming to the plate. Repko 0 for 3, playing for Jason Kubel. The hope is Kubel will be ready to go tomorrow night. So too for Denard Span, who felt a lot better. Span dealing with a jammed shoulder. Twins wanted to give Span and Kubel a full day off, and they've had some pinch hitting opportunities and have stuck to the plan. 1-1. Swing and a foul, 1-2. If the A's win this game, they'll have come to Minnesota. Now Suzuki really in agony. And Suzuki telling his manager to go back in the dugout and asking Laz Diaz to go to the mound and give him a couple minutes to recover. I think it's one of those we probably don't need to see a replay as to where it hit him. And it's what, 4-hour flight to Oakland?
Again, Little Leaguers, that's why you wear a cup.
More than any other reason, that's the reason they call those the tools of ignorance. They're the equipment catchers have to wear. Not many people want to spend a lifetime behind the plate. And Repko strikes out number 2.
Breslow just rearing back and throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball past Repko. Good high fastball.
Punto trying to keep the game alive for the Twins. Revere would hit next. Strike 1. Yankees had a threat in the top of the 11th, or top of the 10th, I should say, but they did not score. They're still tied with the Orioles now in the 11th. And strike 2. Boy, Breslow just pumping strike after strike. 9 pitches, 8 strikes for Craig Breslow. Flips it foul. Gentleman in the blue shirt made a nice catch.
Bring your glove. Had it all the way.
And Punto goes after that high fastball and comes up empty. So for just the third time since the All-Star break, the Twins have lost a series.
Well, Mark Ellis, our Verizon player of the game. Very good day at the plate. A double in the first inning, single in the third. And a two-run home run in the fifth. A couple walks.
And so the A's get back to the 500 mark. The Twins' magic number for the time being stalled at 5. And Ellis had a big day at the plate. Happy with the outcome. Final score, 6-2 Oakland. Coming up next, Extra Bases, our Twins postgame show.